Thank you, Mr. Speaker. President Obama's decision to scrap a long-range European-based missile defense shield was not only met with concern among our European allies, but more importantly, has sounded alarms here at home where the President's action will leave the nation vulnerable to Iranian long-range missile attack. 3 years ago, in response to growing threats from Iran, the U.S. developed plans to install a missile defense system in Eastern Europe to protect Europe and the United States from potential long-range missile attack. Under the program, 10 interceptor missiles would be located in Poland, and a radar station would be built in the Czech Republic with the goal of being fully operational by 2013. The European-based missile defense system would add an additional layer of defense to the continental United States, which already has a small network of interceptors on the West Coast. The European-based missile defense shield was endorsed by our NATO allies, who called it a substantial contribution to their collective security. Now, the Obama administration has taken the unusual and highly questionable position of canceling the planned European-based missile defense system in favor of a scaled-back program that will not be ready until 2020. The threat represented by Iran is real and growing. Last February, Iran launched a satellite demonstrating substantial progress toward achieving a reliable long-range missile program. A month later, the head of the U.S. European Command testified before the House Armed Services Committee that Iran would be able to deploy an intercontinental ballistic missile, an ICBM, capable of reaching all of Europe and parts of the United States by the year 2015. The President stated his decision was based upon reduced threats from Iran and greater cost efficiency of his alternative defense system. And anyone watching the news knows that there is no diminished threat from Iran. However, a July 2008 classified report produced by the Institute for Defense Analysis concluded that the European-based missile defense system that the administration now wants to cancel would in fact be the most cost-effective. I have called on the administration to declassify this report so that all of the facts can be known and we can have a robust debate. Moscow has made no secret of its opposition to European-based missile defense system and has repeatedly called for its elimination. Furthermore, European leaders have heard from Russian leaders. The Russians have continually shown that they have no intention of pressing Iran to drop its nuclear and missile programs. For its part, Iran also shows no willingness to be deterred by Russia. Yet, the administration, in courting Moscow assistance in halting Iran's nuclear and missile ambitions, has effectively chosen to surrender Americans' bargaining position with its shelving in the proposed missile defense system. While the Obama administration's decision to reverse course on European missile defense is being met with smiles in Moscow, Americans have real reason to be concerned. By the administration's own admission, its alternative missile defense system will not be able to be fully capable until 2020, with intelligence indicating Iran will have ICBM capability by 2015. This means the United States could be vulnerable to Iranian missile attack 5 years before the administration gets its new missile defense system ready. Not only is Iran near its goal of launching ICBMs, reportedly it has already the ability to construct a nuclear bomb. Last Thursday, a group of experts at the International Atomic Energy Agency stated in a report obtained by the Associated Press that Iran is already capable of building a nuclear bomb and is on the way to developing a missile system capable of carrying an atomic warhead. Remarkably, in the face of Iran's blatant actions to develop a nuclear weapons program, the administration continues to pursue a course of unilateral disarmament. Earlier this year, the President cut funding for missile interceptors to be based in Alaska as part of the ongoing construction of a homeland missile defense system, reducing the number of interceptors by 1/3. I opposed that move and offered an amendment in the House to restore the funding. Unfortunately, the President's cut were sustained by the Democratic majority of the House. The administration's record on missile defense at a time when both North Korea and Iran are seeking nuclear weapons capable of reaching the United States is troubling. This year, the administration has cut missile defense by $1.2 billion, reducing by 1/3 our intended West Coast shield, which would protect us from North Korea's advancements, and has stopped a European-based system intended to protect the U.S. from Iranian missile threats. In the face of known threats, this administration needs to rededicate itself to the defense of the United States mainland. To give a recap of the time frame that we're dealing with, this administration scrapped a plan that would have provided missile defense capability to the United States mainland from Europe that would have been available as early as 2013. All of our intelligence agencies are indicating that by 2015, Iran could have missile technology to reach the United States. That's why we needed that missile defense technology in 2013. They were going to have ICBM capability by 2015. The International Atomic Energy Agency says just last week that Iran already has the capability of producing a nuclear weapon. So when we're talking about 2015 and they're having ICBM capability to reach the United States, we're talking about a missile, perhaps with a nuclear warhead. This administration scraps that plan and instead proposes a plan that will not be available until 2020. So by all the information that we have right now, this administration's action has a 5-year gap that has developed in the time period where the administration is accepting capability by Iran without having the missile defense technology to protect the United States. Now, what else are we hearing from Iran? Well, today there was an announcement that Iran has a covert uranium enrichment facility, and this should come as no surprise. This is a country that has continued to seek missile technology and nuclear capability. We understand that Tehran is not just trying to do this for civilian purposes, that it actually represents a threat to the United States. And that's why people have been such an advocate to ensure that this country has the appropriate missile defense technology to protect the country. So the administration responds and says it's not just 2020. We have capability in Alaska. That will be our backup plan. We can use our missiles in Alaska to protect the United States from Iran. The problem with that is that this administration, through this House, just this year, cut Alaska's missile defense capabilities by a third. So where we would have had our Aegis and THAAD capability, we would have had our European capability, and we would have had our Alaska capability perhaps for multiple shots that could have occurred in order to protect this country from Iran's quest for an ICBM with its now said by the IAEA to have nuclear capability. Instead, this administration says we're taking Europe off the table, we're going to rely on what we have, and we're going to take our Alaska capability and we're going to cut it by a third. It puts our country at risk. It puts our families at risk. The President should reverse this decision and should proceed with supporting our allies in NATO, supporting the Czech Republic and Poland, who have been there for us, and put this system in place, protecting the United States.